Mic check, mic check. What's up? All right, let me see here. Um, all right, so we're gonna do a live stream real quick. It's your boy Will Motivation. Um, we got some news. We got some news. So for everybody tuning in, I'm gonna give you guys a few moments to log in, to jump in the chat, and we're gonna talk about some real good stuff. We're gonna talk about some real good stuff. A lot of people like to talk about the cars. A lot of people like to talk about the real estate and how to invest in real estate to be able to afford the cars. So we're gonna talk about both of those things because I got a new car for the channel and I got a new real estate project for the channel. And so it's gonna be interesting. So I want to tell you guys a story um, about how I found the car, happens to be the cheapest 2012 Lamborghini Gallardo in the country, and I'm gonna talk about how this flip investment property kind of fell into my lap, and I'm gonna talk about the process I went through to secure the property and put it under contract. All right, so we got some people jumping into the chat. So let me I'm gonna get my screen set up right here so I can so that I can see you guys. What's up? All right, so let's see who we got in chat. Jose Johnson, Alex Kragetchevek. What's up, man? Jermaine Robinson, what's up, brother? Ramos family, what's up? Daily Driven H2, King Wage. Hey, when you guys check into the live stream, hit the thumbs up for me if you would. We got 35 people in here, 36 people so far, and 7 thumbs up. So if you can hit the like button for me, I'd appreciate it. That way we can get as many people as possible in here to kind of get this like inside information I'm gonna share with you guys about how I found the Lamborghini for the best price and how I found this investment property that I'm hoping to make in between 20,000 and 50,000 on this flip. All right, so but I want to just kind of welcome everybody into the chat. So we got Daily Driven H2. What's up, bro? I see you soon when I'm in Cali. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be in California for Monterey Car Week and to pick up the new Lamborghini Gallardo, which just got wrapped a special color, a really cool color, I think. I looked at the comments from people that saw the video of the new Lamborghini, and only about 3 people guessed the color, 3 or 4. About 3 or 4 people kind of guessed the color. All right, but so make sure you guys enter that contest because whoever gets the color, I got some free T-shirts waiting for them in my office. All right, Clipper 1094, what's up? Jay Will, what's up, bros? Screamon TGV, what's up? Adam Larkin, hey Adam Larkin, let everybody know you just got something in the mail. For anybody that don't think I send these T-shirts out, Adam just got a T-shirt. John Sheriff, what's up? Justin Davis, Jose Johnson. Thanks, yeah, man. That's somebody said let's talk about women. So is it that Lambo is clean? Yeah, that Lambo is the nicest one that I've gotten so far, which is crazy because both of my other Lambos were very, very nice. And this one's the best one so far. Tony the fourth, Tony IV, what's good, bro? Love from Columbus. Yeah, man. I appreciate you saying what's up when you was here in Columbus, bro. Or when we was at the car show. Oh my goddess, we have a woman in the house. So somebody said, let's talk about women. All I have to say about that subject is women are God's gift to man. Women are the best thing on the planet. So much respect to any women that join the chat or watch this video. Women are the best. Kenneth Hudson, what's good, man? What's good? Man, these comments are starting to fly in. Hey, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up for me. We're gonna get into it real quick because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about 2 things. Then I'm gonna answer some questions. But before I start answering questions, I want to share with you guys the story behind the Lambo, and then the story behind my latest flip project, which is coming to the channel soon. I'm gonna show you guys like the process because I'm gonna try to do a quick flip to try to make 20,000 between 20,000 and 50,000 in 1 to 2 months. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. It's not no rocket science or anything like that, but I'm gonna tell you the story about how I got the flip And then I'm gonna tell you the story about how I found the cheapest 2012 Lambo in the country. That's not really rocket science either. And then you guys can ask whatever questions you want about the flip. And I heard Demonology is in here. What's up, brother? What's up, brother Herman? Big brother Demonology in the house. And Demonology's done started modding his demon because he heard about me coming for him, coming for his soul. So I guess I gotta keep my Lambo, keep up with him. But okay, so I got a question for you guys. Shout out to everybody that's in here. We got 60 some people in the chat. Please hit the like button for me. But all right, we're about to get started with what I want to share with you guys tonight. All right, and that is, let me know what you want to talk about first. You want to talk about how we like the story behind that new Lamborghini Gallardo, or you guys want to talk about the story behind this next flip project that I'm about to release on the channel and show you guys how I'm flipping this property and how I'm going to make 20 to 50K pretty confidently within a month or two. What do you guys want to talk about first? Just drop me a comment right quick. And whatever I see the most of first, Demonology. Hey, thanks for the super chat. He said he's turned up and he's not getting, I'm not getting my soul back. I'm coming, bro. My soul's coming back to me, bro. I can feel it. All right. So I appreciate the comments. You guys said Lambo Flip, Lambo Flips. Both Lambo, the flip money first, Lambo. All right, so I think the flip is easier to talk about. Man, it really look like equal, but the flip we could get through that real fast. Well, I'm gonna get to the point. And what's up, Quentin? Quentin TV. Shout out to Quentin TV and Demonology. We got Daily Driven H2. You guys check out their channels. And matter of fact, I'll go in and edit this video after the live stream and link their channels because we got a few YouTubers in here. And shout out to my realtor, Rich is in here. So shout out to Rich because actually Rich is the one that helped me do the paperwork for this particular flip. And Rich is going to be the one to help me sell the flip, hopefully within a month after I get done with the rehab. And the rehab shouldn't take more than a month based on the condition of the house that I've seen already. All right, so let me tell you guys a story. So just sit tight. If you got questions and comments, just hold on to it for a minute and give me 5 minutes to tell you the story behind this flip, because the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because I don't like putting, like, to be honest with you guys, when I do a video buying a new car, I really don't even like putting it on YouTube. But the reason I put it on YouTube is to justify me spending that much money on a toy, and it'll force me to share with you guys the information and the knowledge that I have to be able to afford a car like that. So if I was to just put the car on YouTube, for me, I would feel kind of bad about it. And I don't even really like doing that. But I put it on there because I'm thinking there's gonna be somebody out there that's like me when I was younger and see the car like that and was like, I want a car like that. But how in the world do you afford a $100,000 car? And so I'm going to tell you guys how I'm doing it, right? So first things first, let's talk about this flip. All right, so here's how I got this deal. If you guys have been watching my channel, I haven't bought a lot of property lately. The reason why I haven't bought a lot of property lately is because the prices of the properties have gone up dramatically in Columbus, Ohio, which is my market where I invest. And I'm used to buying houses $120,000 or below. And that gives me the option to rent the houses out for profit, or it gives me the option to flip those houses. All right. So, the price of the houses where I buy houses, mostly in my city, the prices are way beyond 120,000. So I was real slow to and thanks Jose Johnson for that super chat. Appreciate it. I was real slow to start investing in real estate with the prices going up. Plus, the prices went up so fast in this market that I wasn't sure what was going on. I was kind of watching, like, let me see what it does. Is the market going to shoot up and then shoot way back down, or is it going to shoot up, slow down, and keep shooting up, or what? I've been watching lately, so that's why you haven't seen me rolling out a bunch of new real estate projects on my channel, because I haven't been buying anything and Rich can tell you that, right? But here's what happened. Here's how I found my latest flip. The last time I did a flip or bought a new property was probably 2 years ago or a year and a half, over a year ago, right? And at one point, I was buying 4+ properties a year. Like when me and Rich were getting everything off of the HUD website, like bidding on HUD properties, I was getting more than 4 or 5 properties a year. All right. So for those of you that just tuned in, we're talking about two things in this live stream. We're talking about my latest real estate project. And the reason why I'm sharing with you guys is because I don't like sharing the car stuff without sharing with you how I'm able to afford the car stuff. Because for me to be another YouTuber with showing you me buying cars, showing me myself buying cars without showing you how, for me, that doesn't make sense and it's not what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to show you how. So we're talking about this flip first, all right? So this flip, what happened was I have about 4 properties that are under rehab right now that I already had in my portfolio. I have a new build house that I'm building. So I've been spending a lot of money on that house because I'm paying for everything out of my pocket. And that project's been going on for over a year, but I'm building a new house from the ground up, right? So I haven't been spending money on a bunch of new investment projects because I got money tied up in this new build, right? The other thing is I have about 3 or 4 rental properties where people moved out after years of renting the property from me, and I had to rehab those properties, right? So, I have some rehabs on my channel, but I don't put a whole lot of the detail to all the rehabs because it's kind of redundant, right? So I got one of those properties finished. It's like a 4-bedroom house. I'm going to rent it out for $1,700 a month. I bought the house with Rich, my realtor, who's here in the chat in the live stream, so he can answer questions related to my investments and stuff because I like to be transparent. But I bought that house for around $90,000, like $93,000. The house is worth about $220,000 right now, and I was going to rent it out again after I painted it and fixed it up for $1,700. A guy came to see the first person I showed the house to that was a potential renter. He asked me, he said, "Hey, do you buy houses?" Because I told him I was the owner of the property, and he was kind of interested. And he was like, "Hey, do you buy houses? Because I want to rent, and I bought this house, but I want to sell it, and then I want to rent." So to be honest with you guys, I was a little bit skeptical because I'm like, why? Usually when people have funny situations when they're getting ready to rent from you, you got to be careful with those kind of people because a lot of times people are running from an eviction. A lot of times, if it's a homeowner, they haven't been paying their mortgage and they're about to get basically foreclosed on, and then they want to find a rental property, right? So I was a little skeptical about this guy, but it turns out, so we made an appointment. I showed him my house, and then I was like, you know what? If somebody shows me a deal, I'm always going to look at it to at least evaluate it at a high level because if not, I could be a dummy and miss out on a lot of money, right? So he said, "I'll show you my house after you show me your rental." So okay, I went, showed him my rental. He liked it. He wasn't too picky or anything like that. So that's cool. He said, "Okay, you got time to go see my house?" And his house is in my zip code where I invest. So of course I wanted to see it, and that same day. So we went over to his house. He showed me his house that he currently lives in, and the condition of the house was very good. And the location of the house is a location I'm very, very familiar with. It's like right in my zip code where I know, like from an investor perspective, I know the values of the homes in my zip code. I know the streets. I know the activity on the streets at daytime, nighttime. I know the type of people that live in the houses. I know probably the average household income, all of that. So I was able to quickly evaluate this particular property, and it looked good. I looked at the inside, I looked at the outside. I saw a little bit that had to be done on the outside. On the inside, I saw almost nothing that had to be done, other than make the house like new, which is typically putting in new carpet and new flooring and painting, fresh coat of paint, very well done, trim paint and all of that, and then updating fixtures What I mean by fixtures is doorknobs, ceiling fans, lights, and making them the most modern fixtures that you can, so that people, when they come in, they feel like they're in a new house, right? So I'm evaluating the house. The house looks good. We go down into the basement. Where I'm at in Ohio, a lot of the houses have basements. So we went down into the basement. I'm looking for cracks in the structure. I'm smelling to see if it smells like a lot of moisture, and then everything was checked out. And so then I was like, okay, so what's the story, man? Like, why are you trying to sell me your house and rent? So it turns out the gentleman was in a really good position, and he made the investment to. And this is why, like, if you guys watch my channel, and a lot of people say, what is my advice on how to get in real estate? My number one advice for somebody who doesn't invest in real estate and how they can get into real estate is buy the place that you're going to live in. And this gentleman did that. So he was following my advice without knowing it. But he bought this house to live in, and he bought the house for about $120,000, right? He bought it at a good time period where the prices were lower, like when I was buying most of mine. He bought it for 120, and he wanted to sell it to me for 180. And so I'm like, 180 is kind of high in general for me and what I typically invest in, but I'm gonna go home and do my research. So I went home, I did my research, I looked at what houses typically sell for in that part of the neighborhood with those specs on a home. The lowest I saw recently sold in that neighborhood was 190, and and the highest was probably like 220 something. Recently sold in that neighborhood. So what I typically do when I do a flip, I'm preparing my flip to get the highest and push the envelope and get a little bit more than the highest. And my house is going to be the highest sold property in the area, is what my goal is when I do my flips. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to this? Does the house have the structure to support me building a product that can sell for $230,000 or $220,000? And I was looking at it, and I think maybe 220. I think for sure I could build a $220,000 product with his house. But still, 180 is risky because let's say there's something that we find that's wrong with the house after I buy it. A major plumbing repair could cost $6,000 quick. Major appliances could cost you, like a furnace or a air conditioning unit can cost you another $6,000 quick. So I said, okay, based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to offer this gentleman $170,000 for his house, and I know he already has an equity position because he bought it at 120 and he's been paying on it. He probably only owes about 115 or 110, so he's going to make his money because he made a solid investment. But I got to make some money too if I'm going to buy the house. So I need to have a little bit safer position, knowing that the cheapest house is sold for 190. So if I buy it for 180, closing costs and the expenses to get the house back on the market can eat up $10,000 immediately. So that's not safe if I was to buy the house for 180. So I said, all right, I'll offer you 170, and he accepted my offer, and ball game, like game on. So I'm going to take you guys through the process from start to finish. As soon as I take possession of the home, I'm going to show you guys the condition of the home. I'm going to tell you guys what the plan is for fixing the home up. And then you guys can see like how easy it is, or how hard it is, because there could be some unknown things that pop up that could be like difficult. But at this point, I've done about 35 rehabs or more on properties, and in this kind of house, and this age of house, I'm very comfortable with, because the most expensive thing that I worry about is plumbing, because plumbing is behind the walls. And if there's going to be an expensive problem, it's usually plumbing. And the fact that he lives in the house in the summertime, I'm pretty confident that the plumbing is probably a-okay and will probably be good. But anyway, that's the numbers. So I'm buying a flip for 170, and my goal, and Rich, you got to help me, man. We could push the envelope on this one, and if we have to lower it down, we can. But Bought it for 170, and I'm going to try to turn around and flip it for a minimum of 220. But hopefully, we can create some activity around it, put it up around 230, and see if it goes. See what happens, right? But the job is on me to create a product that creates a demand. And when you go to flip houses and sell houses, it's all about um, the feeling that the buyer gets when they walk in your house. Do they feel when they see it, when they pull up to your house, what is the curb appeal? Do you have the best yard in the neighborhood? Getting the best yard in a neighborhood, in a middle class neighborhood, usually costs less than $1,000 to have the best yard in the neighborhood. Okay, so for less than $1,000, I'm gonna have the best yard in the neighborhood, most likely when I get done with it, right? Number two, so they're gonna feel good when they pull up to the house. Number two, what happens when they walk in the door? What does it smell like in the house? What's the first thing they see? The flooring. Is it new flooring? Is there new carpet? It smells like new carpet. It smells like new paint and like a brand new house. So I'm gonna put all of these elements into the house to create something that people want to buy. And we're gonna see what happens to see how much money we make. And my estimates are at least 20 grand and probably at most 40 grand probably is a realistic range. I don't like to do a flip if I can't make $20,000. I probably won't do it. Now, probably the next question you guys are going to ask about this flip is how am I financing the flip? In this particular case, I want to close quickly, so I'm buying it outright, and I might finance it later, but I'm probably not because I plan on going into contract quickly after I get the rehab done. And based on what I've seen with this house, the rehab should take weeks, not months. All right, so I should be able to get my money back, basically. So now a lot of you guys might be like, well, I don't have $170,000 to buy a house for a quick closing with cash. Well, most of the time I don't do that. Like, as a matter of fact, this is the most that I've ever spent out of pocket to buy a house. Most of the time I go to a bank and get a loan because I don't know how long the project is going to take for the rehab, and I want to have my cash for my other business endeavors. But in this case, from what I'm seeing, I should be able to quickly get in and out of this property. But if you want to do something like this and you don't have that kind of cash, you can go to a bank and get a loan. And as an investor, you usually have to have 20% of the money. So in this case, that would have been around $30,000 to $40,000 as a down payment. Or you could get like a home owner's loan, or if you had like, there's certain types of loans you can get where you can buy a house. You might have to live in the house for a while, but then you can sell it later, but your payment will be super low because you get a really good interest rate and you can get a really low down payment. So you might not have to pay 20% to get into a property. Okay, so that's what it is. I'm going to show you guys how I do this, and I wanted to share that with you guys because if I'm gonna share with you guys how I buy a Lambo, I think it's a real bad thing if I don't show you how to make some money, which is more important than spending money, right? How to make money is more important than how to spend money, all right? But I put these car videos up to generate interest, and then as more people get interested in it, I just want to hit you guys off with some how-to, like how do you do this kind of thing, all right? So that's the story behind the flip. And now we can talk a little bit about the Lambo and how I found the cheapest Lamborghini Gallardo in the country. And then we'll just answer questions, because if I start answering questions about the real estate, I'll probably never talk about the Lambo. All right. So real quick, how did I find the cheapest Lamborghini in the country? 2012 Lamborghini in the country. First of all, the car costs $108,000. The last Lamborghini Gallardo that I bought cost me $88,000, and I sold it for over $100,000 to actually somebody who's on my YouTube channel. So I actually made a small profit on that last Gallardo that I bought, and it was an older Gallardo, and it was in excellent condition. This Gallardo is a newer Gallardo, and it was the cheapest one that I could find. I used a site or an app called Car Gurus. Car Gurus seems to be the most thorough online search tool for finding cars and keeping track of values. So like another thing that I always do every time I buy any kind of car that I plan on keeping for a little while, or I plan on buying and selling, I always go into Car Gurus and I set up a search for that same type of car, and then I get alerts daily on the values of the cars that are being sold, like bought and sold, and you can do that through the app. And the reason why I do that is because if the value starts to shoot up on a car, I might consider selling the car to try to make a profit. If the value starts to start shooting downward for a car for whatever reason, then I have to make a decision. Do I feel like do I like the car enough to hold on to it and ride out the storm and enjoy the car, or do I need to get rid of it real quick? And then that becomes, how do you sell a car for maximum amount of money and quickly? And that's a whole different conversation. But I do those kind of things. So anyway, I found the car on Car Gurus. A gentleman out in California was selling it. He happens to be a pastor. If you saw my video, he actually prayed for those people that were watching the video for the whole, that everything was good, with the transaction. And I typically don't put that kind of stuff on my channel, even though my father was a pastor as well, and I grew up, in church and believing in God and that kind of thing. But I'm more of a watch what I do, not what I say type of person when it comes to religion, because people believe so many different things. And as soon as you start opening your mouth, people tune out if that's not what they believe. So I'd rather just speak with my actions. But anyway, I respect people that if it's something good for him, and he wanted to share something good with me and with everybody else, and it worked for him, and it's something good, why not share it? So that was on my channel. But anyway, so I found that gentleman. We started exchanging emails about the Lamborghini Gallardo. The first thing you always do when you're going to buy like an expensive car like this is you got to make sure everything is legitimate, everything, before you waste your time and money. Because first of all, you don't want to wire anybody any money before you see the car. Then again, people have wired me money without seeing my cars. It has happened. Like I got wires plenty of times, but I don't do that. But I'll put a deposit down of a few $100 to hold a car after I check out the person and make sure they're legit. So anyway, it turns out the person was legit. I did my background checks on them, make sure everything checked out. I make sure he actually had the car in his possession. And it's a lot easier when you're dealing with a dealership. You don't have to be as cautious, I don't think. But this was an individual seller. So after I checked him out, I looked at the price of the car. We negotiated a little bit. And the next cheapest car, that was a 2012 Lamborghini Gallardo, was $118,000. And I talked to that seller as well because I was interested in his car as well. But the cars were very similar, except for the one that I bought had a little bit more mileage on it. So that guy was firm on his 118. So I said, okay, let me investigate this cheaper one, because if I do have to sell it for whatever reason, if I need money to buy another flip or whatever, I want to be in a position where I can sell it easily at the same price or a little bit more. All right. So I started looking at the cheaper one. Right. So I flew out to California to see it a few weeks ago. And that's where that video came from, because the car checked out, took the car for a drive. They had all the title work and paperwork. And we did the transaction. I bought the car. I had like a check with me, and then everything checked out. So we did the transaction, and I bought the Lambo. But I found it on Car Gurus. I bought it for 108. I estimate the value to be north of 108. You could say whatever. It just depends on the right buyer. But the car is in excellent condition. Once I get it back in Columbus, I'll show you guys more of it. But I'm going to be flying out to California for Car Week. And for anybody that's out in California, if you want to meet me, I'm going to be doing the fuel run, which is like a one-day rally from like Malibu area in the Los Angeles area. It's a one-day rally to Monterey, California. And I'm going to be driving a new Lambo with a new wrap on it. And I'm going to put everything on video. So if you can't make it out there, don't worry about it. But if you are in California, and you want to see it in person, take pictures with it, sit in it, say what's up to me, whatever, check out the Fuel Run. It's fuelrun.com, and it'll tell you like the schedule, where we're going to be. It's like Wednesday morning, August 14th on Wednesday morning. We're going to be in Malibu somewhere. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. And all right, so we can answer, you guys got questions about the Lambo, if you got questions about the flip and the real estate investing, let's talk about it, because this, for me, is probably my most risky flip, just based on how much money I tied up, into this flip. Although my experience tells me I should be able to get my money back within a couple of months, with a nice profit. All right, so let's jump into the comments right now. Appreciate you guys. All right. So shout out to Noel, subscriber in Canada. And I saw him when I was in Canada. Thanks for coming out, bro. I always appreciate your support. All right, so I'm gonna just jump into the first comment that I see, and then I'm gonna go down. So if you asked a question before this one, just ask it again if you would, and then I'll try to get to as many as I can. And then I'm gonna go eat me an ice cream sandwich and play some video games on a Saturday night, because tomorrow I'm gonna be going to work. All right. Line Flyer 1 said, do you keep your cars in a business name or personal name for tax deductible purposes? Okay, most of the cars I have are in my personal name, but that does not mean you can't deduct them from taxes. You just have to show that you're using them for business purposes if you ever get audited. But it's a little bit easier and cleaner to put the cars in a business name. So for the first time, I started a new business, and it's called Wheel Motivation LLC. And I started that business, and I'm putting that Lamborghini Gallardo in that business name. So that is happening. So we got a super chat from Shape World. What's up? And thank you. And Shape World, if you got a question, make sure you drop it so I can make sure to answer it. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. Next question. Hey, quick favor. If you guys, we got 156 people in here. If you can hit the thumbs up for me, that will YouTube will let other people know about the live stream, and then we can get the most people in here to maybe get something out of the knowledge that I'm gonna try to share. Because on my live streams, as you guys know, my live streams are unedited, and I tend to answer everything super transparent because I'm not editing it. And later I'll probably take it down. So you guys can ask me anything you want, and I'm gonna give you the real raw and cut. Okay. All right. So next question looks like Expertness 520 said, can you buy a C63? And how do YouTubers collab? Because I don't know if you get thousands of DMs and their DMs be hidden, how do you collab? Can I buy a C63? Maybe in the future. I'm not planning on buying a C63 anytime like in the short term, but after the lease is up on my Audi, I may very well get a Mercedes, AMG something. I don't know what AMG it'll be, but probably some kind of 4-door AMG from Mercedes. All right. How do YouTubers collab and things? Because the DMs, to be honest with you, if you're making enough buzz as a small YouTuber, other YouTubers will probably catch wind of you either through seeing your videos or through seeing comments by other people on their videos where they're talking about you or saying that you need to collab. And so they'll start looking out for you, or they'll follow you on YouTube, or they'll follow you on Instagram. And for me, I usually try to get YouTubers that I want to collab with. I usually try to get them to come to me by putting out content that I think they might be interested in, and basically calling them out in my videos out of appreciation for them. That's how I usually try to collab, because of somebody I look up to for the work that they put in on YouTube. I show them some appreciation on YouTube, and hopefully they catch wind of it. And usually good begets good. Like, so if you do something good for somebody else, usually something good comes back to you. That's been my experience. And you guys have maybe seen some of my collaborations, but I collaborated with almost everybody in some form or fashion. Even the Goon Squad, they're like some of the hottest YouTubers out. I haven't collaborated with them physically, but we did collab on video shout outs and everything, and they got me a whole lot of subscribers. So and they answer their Instagram. Like people, it might take a long time because you get a lot of DMs and stuff, but eventually, things get slow and they probably go through and look for something that gets their attention. But my best advice to you, if you're a small YouTuber and you want to collab with somebody else, work on serving an audience and creating an audience of your own and giving yourself some clout of your own. And then you'll have more of a reason to collab with somebody else and they'll take you more seriously because you put in the work already. But if you're a brand new YouTuber and you don't have any subscribers or any views, then you haven't yet put in the work, and they've been putting in the work. So, that's not really, what are you showing them? Put in the work first and then go for the collab. That's my advice on that. Let's see. Noel said, Will Motivation is a fun guy to be around. Hey, man, I appreciate that. I love anybody that loves me. So if you're a nice person and you like what I'm doing, I'm going to love you. So that's how I am. So Noel is a great person. And so if you see me, I'm going to have a smile on my face, bro. That's what it is. RX-7 for you to envy. And I used to have an RX-7, by the way. Shout out to you. How much would a rehab cost? So based on the condition of the home that I've seen so far, on the low end, the rehab would probably be $4,000. On the high end, if I want to go all out, after Rich and I have a conversation, because I'm gonna try to get maximum profit. If I have to put in another 15,000 to make another 30,000, I would do it. But I think the maximum I'll put into it on the low end, 4,000 or 5,000. On the high end, 10,000 to 12,000. That's what I think. Very realistically. All right. So that's RX-7 for you to envy. Shout out to him. Mal said, "Is it a clean title at 108 for 2012?" Yes, but there was some little bit like title transfers between dealers, so that actually caused me a little bit more paperwork. But I have a person now that does the paperwork for me once I establish my business to handle the car transactions. So I have established that business, and I have a person that does my title stuff now for me buying and selling cars. So there's a little bit of stuff I had to do, but everything is cool. Yeah, it's a clean title. It's not a salvage or anything like that. It's a clean title on the Lamborghini. So for anybody that just tuned in, first of all, thank you. I love and appreciate everybody that watches my channel. All of the positive energy I get from people, even the haters, because the haters are still watching. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you guys. And I want to say thanks. We got 173 people in here. And what we're talking about, if you just now tuned in, we're talking about two things. I recently bought a 2012 Lamborghini Gallardo that cost me $108,000. It was the cheapest 2012 Gallardo in the country. It's in excellent condition. And I dropped a video on it earlier today. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. But my thing is, I don't like to drop the videos, especially now that people like you guys that subscribe to my channel, you guys already know who I am. You guys know I have a Lamborghini Huracan. I got some nice cars. I got a Hellcat, stuff like that. You guys already know that. So if I keep making videos every time I buy a car, to me, that's the dumbest, egotistical thing for me to do if I was to just drop videos like, hey, look, I got a car. I don't like doing that. Like, honestly, I don't really want nobody to know what I have, to be honest. But I feel good sharing something like that if it motivates somebody to find out how I did it. That's what it's all about for me. So right now we're talking about the Lambo, of course, but for those of you guys that want to know how I was able to afford the Lamborghini, I'm talking about a brand new real estate project that I just went into contract on, and that I'm going to share with you guys step by step how I flip this property, and hopefully it goes smoothly. If it doesn't, it'll be a learning experience for everybody that watches my channel. But I'm basically going to show you guys how I make money to be able to spend on the cars. Now, the other ways that I make money, real estate is not my only thing, and it's not even my biggest business. But the real estate allows me to buy the cars and the toys and stuff, right? And set myself up for a nice future with my rental properties. But my real business, I have a software engineering company and a social networking .com company that that is my main breadwinner, and like really is what I should be paying most of my attention to, other than YouTube and other than my real estate stuff. But I don't talk about that as much as because it took specialized years of training and specialized knowledge, and even I'm gifted at what I do with the technical stuff related to my .com business. And I know it's not realistic for me to preach to you guys about learning how to write software and write code if that's not something that you have a knack for, if that's not something that you're interested in. Um, and I know, like, I even went to school with people, I went to college with people that majored in computer science with me, and they didn't even like writing computer code, and they didn't even like, doing anything related to software. You know what I'm saying? So I went to school with people that were getting the same training that I was getting, and they didn't even like it. So it was only like out of a class of 100 of us, it might have been 5 to 10 of us that really got into it and really liked writing code and stuff. So I don't, I don't want to waste anybody's time saying, hey, everybody become a software engineer and write code and make a multi-million-dollar business writing software, when the reality is it's not that easy. And there's a small percentage of you guys that actually would probably do that. But for those small percentage that want to know, all you got to do is ask me, and I'll tell you the story behind that other business. All right. So on to answering the questions. MDM10 said, Will, I have a rental property. I'm considering knocking out tubs and have straight showers. Good or bad idea? How many bedrooms does it have in it, MDM10? If it has 2 or less bedrooms in it, you probably can get away with it. But if it has three or 4 or more bedrooms, you probably got a family moving in with parents and kids. And parents a lot of times like to have bathtubs for their kids. But if it's like a bachelor, like a 2-bedroom bachelor pad or student type of setup, or a single, you might get away with not having the tubs. But people like tubs, man. Like I mostly shower in my house, but when I come back from a business trip and I've been on an airplane for hours, I like to get in my tub or have the option of getting in my tub. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, and Rich will tell you, like, there's a family moving in there with kids. They like to put their kids in the tub, like little kids and stuff. So that's the answer to MDM10. Jose Aguilo said, did you check with VinWiki? Yes, Jose, I did. And this particular car had records on VinWiki, but nothing negative at all, and it checked out. Of course, I did a Carfax as well, and that checked out as well. All right, Jason Jackson. Oh man, my screen skipped down real quick. Jason Jackson asked me, and thank you for the super chat. Jason said, Will, do you like classic muscle? Yes, I like classic muscle cars. I used to have a 1978 Chevy Nova with a crate engine in it, and it was so fast and powerful. It scared me one day so bad that I sold it after that because it was too dangerous. Because the old school cars, they don't have no technology to save your ass, basically. So what up? My brother D Moss is in here. I am Mr. Moss. Go check out his YouTube channel for sure. That's my brother. He's about to have a C8 here in a minute. And he's going to do videos for the channel with the C8. But anyway, Jason, yes, I do like classic muscle. I don't currently have a classic muscle car, but for me, my 2016 Ford Mustang GT is my classic muscle car. It's just not an old one, but for me, that car is currently a classic for me and will be a classic in the future because it's just a great looking car and it's a great driving car. It's comfortable. I was driving it today, man. I love that car. So, and also my very first car that I bought with my own money, when I worked at the Kroger grocery store as a bagger, I saved $500 when I was a junior in high school, and I bought a 1978 Trans Am with a 400 engine in it and bald tires. And I brought it home, and my dad saw it, and he was like, "Oh, this boy's gonna kill himself." And my dad made me take the car back to the guy that I bought it from, and The guy that I bought it from already spent the $500 that I gave to him to buy the car. And my dad was upset about it and was like, "You're gonna have to give the money back. My son is a minor." Like I was 17 years old, so I was a minor, and my dad was like, "For that reason, you gotta come up and get the money." And I felt super bad about it because my dad is real. My dad was real adamant and real like serious with people about certain stuff. And so it got real serious that day, and me and my dad ended up in the back of a cop car. Nobody got touched, but there were some people that got a little worried, and somebody called the cops, and me and my dad was the ones that got put in the car in the back of the cop car. So it was a terrible experience for me. But I bought some classic muscle. I bought a Trans Am, and I was getting ready to have a good old time in my senior year in high school. But my dad probably saved my life on that one because I didn't know anything about tires at the time. And hey, listen, message of the night: if you are a new car owner or a car owner that doesn't know about the importance of tires, always make sure you got good tires, because if you have ball tires that don't get grip in the rain, you could kill yourself. Because uh, later on, when I graduated from college, I bought a Ford Probe GT. It had ball tires on it when I bought it from the dealership. Dealership guess didn't care about people. It was a Ford dealership too, and they sold the car to me as a 21-year-old college graduate. And I hit a water patch going to my graduation for college, and I almost died because the tires were bald and a hydroplane, and the car did some NASCAR flips, and I was probably only going about 70 miles an hour. So tires are serious. All right, next question. Um, let's see. So Shake World had asked a question. Where is it? Where's Shake World's question? Where you at, Shake World? I want to make sure I answer your question. So Shake World said, "Is better cash or loan from the bank to flip houses?" It depends on your position. Okay. I like to say, in general, getting a loan is better for rentals or flips, because you can have more of your own money set aside for emergencies or for repairs and things of that nature. So I always say in general it's better to get a loan. But when you get a loan, you're going to have fees associated with it, like interest and bank closing fees and doc fees and all that kind of stuff. So you lose a little bit of money when you get a loan. And depending on your credit score and how much your interest rate is and how long you keep the house, you could lose a lot more money. But from a safety perspective, having a lot of cash sitting on the side, especially when you're getting started and you're not that experienced, you want to have that cash sitting on the side to handle the emergencies. So, but if you have cash on the side and you got enough cash to buy a house without a loan and not be, if the worst case scenario happens and it's not going to kill you and you're not going to lose anything, then that's fine. So I'm doing that in this case because of how fast I believe I can get my money back. I believe I should get my money back in 2 months. That's what I believe, and that's my goal. And I can wait longer than that. As long as I'm hitting my minimum 20, and hopefully we hit a home run and I make 40 or 50. All right. So there you go, Shape World. If you're a beginner, I recommend getting a loan. And plus, the loans help build up your credit too. But you got to have a lot of money sitting on the side. If you're going to be buying stuff with cash, because something could go wrong, and you want to always be able to swim. And as far as the loan creating a debt starting out with the home, and you got to make sure you got profit. That's why it's important to do your numbers and put your numbers into a spreadsheet, especially if you're a beginner. So for those of you guys that don't know, I do have an online course. My online course is done, and it's been done since about January. I have people taking the course right now. And so far, everybody that has taken the course has told me that the course is good. They like it. They appreciate it. And I put everything I know about real estate in the course. I put all of the purchases I've ever made, all of the numbers on all of the homes that I bought. So you see real stuff in my course, no pie in the sky stuff, real numbers on rental properties and flips. And if you want to take my course, I'm gonna put a link up right here, and you get a discount on it too. It's not even that expensive. based on how much money you're gonna make. So the course is willmotivation.com, willmotivation.com/invest. I just put a link. If you're interested in the course, that link right there will give you like 40% off of the course. And it's no joke. Like I put everything into that course. And if you buy the course, I support you. So if you ever have questions, you can just ask me a question. But you don't have to take the course. Like I'm not on here, begging people to take my course. But if you're like for real and like you're asking me these questions about real estate and you're gonna put up tens of thousands of dollars, then you want to know, like my course is like $297 with a discount. So you can invest $300 roughly to protect yourself with knowledge, so you don't lose tens of thousands and that you start making tens of thousands of dollars, or setting yourself up with rental properties. Okay. All right. Next question here. Let me see what else. Hey, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. We got 182 people in here. Please hit the like thumbs up for me, because that's just going to share the information with more people. And I'm trying to share and answer questions. All right. So next question I see is from Mark Marker. Shout out to Mark Marker. I recognize you from the comment section. I appreciate you. How many cars do you have at the moment, and how many businesses? Great question. I'm gonna add one more to that. I'll tell you how many houses I have, how many investment properties I have. How many cars do I have? I have 2 work trucks. I have a Toyota Corolla that I lease for my daughter. I have a Hellcat that I lease for the YouTube channel. I have a Ford Mustang GT that I own, Lamborghini Huracan that I own, the Porsche GT3 that I own that I'm buying. It's financed. I have this new Gallardo that I own, and I have an Audi. I have an Audi S3. So I have 9 vehicles in my name right now, which is, I'm not proud of that, to be honest with you. I think it's excessive, and I got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's too many cars. But I'm always calculating stuff. So two of the trucks I have for work. One of them I'm getting ready to get rid of in January. The Hellcat comes off a lease in January. My daughter's lease is almost up, and so that's 3 cars coming off the books next year, and leases early next year. So that'll cut my car count down. And to be honest with you guys want the raw and uncut on my live stream. I'm going to sell the Porsche GT3 at some point in the future, because my dream Porsche is a 918, and if I want to get closer to having a 918, I can't keep the GT3. So I'm gonna take the money from the GT3 and I'm going to invest it and try to make that turn into enough money to get a 918. All right. So for all you Porsche fans out there, don't despair. If I sell a Porsche, I'm going to get another one, but a much better version of a Porsche. But I got to take that money and invest it. All right. So, and I plan on keeping the Huracan. I'm gonna keep a Gallardo. I like the Gallardos. If money gets tight or whatever, I gotta invest in something, I'll sell a Gallardo. I'm gonna keep the Audi for daily, and I'm gonna keep that Mustang because that's my class. I just like it. I'm gonna keep that Mustang. So really, for me, I like to have 3 cars. So if I got more than that, it's probably because I'm gonna buy and sell or something like that. All right. So the other part of the question was, so how many cars, how many businesses do I have? Technically, I have 4. My number 1 business is called HBCU Connect LLC. That's my main business. My second business is a software-only business for when I do software and advertising, not related to HBCU Connect. It's called Moss Interactive. My third business is Moss Estates, which is all of my real estate investment activity. And my fourth and newest business is Will Motivation LLC, and it's play on the words will as in cars. And that business is going to be for buying and selling cars and trying to make a profit. So those are the 4 businesses I have. And on the top of that, as crazy as it looks as how many cars I have right now, my investment portfolio better look good for me to have that many cars. And so I have right now 22 investment properties, 23, I think, with this flip. So 22 or 23 investment properties. And I had about 30 some properties, but I sold a bunch of them to pay down the mortgages on the ones that I wanted to keep so that I could eventually be mortgage free on all my rentals and be able to retire at some point. There you go. All right. Looking for more questions. Um, Daily Driven H2 said, do I still write code to this day? Do I still write software? Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to write software to update my main website and my entire software platform to be a mobile friendly platform. So when you get on your mobile device, if you go to any of my social networking websites or any of my websites, you'll have a better experience from a user interface perspective. And I started writing that code, but I haven't finished it, and I need to. Like, it's crucial and important. So yeah, I still write code. I still like to write code, and I need to finish that major project. But I'm on here talking to y'all on YouTube, so I need to kick my own ass. So yeah, coding is where the money is. Yes, one of the main ways that I make money is off of code that I wrote. That is now a platform that has gathered people, and now I get advertising dollars from advertisers that want to access those people, and I get recruiters that want to access those people. And recruiters are always looking for coders, and they pay those coders a lot of money. Like, coders coming out of college make 6 figures now if you write software. All right. Jason Jackson said, never buy a single family home to live in. It's a trap. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I'd definitely buy a single family home in a minute. Let's see, what other questions? Richard Gonzalez said, hey, Will, great content. Will you and Goon Squad do a video together with Knowledge 1 and Knowledge 2? I would love to, Richard. Please comment on their Instagram and YouTube and tell them to collaborate on the Lambos with Will Motivation, because they are listening. They watch their comments, and they watch, especially if you're one of the first people to comment on their videos, they see those comments. And if you're one of the first people to comment on their Instagram or send them a DM with something good, they read their DMs. I talk to Goon Squad on DM, but I'm older than them, right? And they're on the come up as far as they're blowing up on YouTube. So I don't want to put pressure on those 2 young guys about doing a collab with me. You know what I'm saying? So I put it out there that I would love to see my car again. I would love to collab with them. I would let them drive my supercharged Lambo, and they were like open to it, but they're trying to maximize what they're doing on their channel right now, and I respect that. So I'm not gonna be pushy with them, like, yo, keep, like, they've done a lot for me as far as shouting me out and getting me a lot of subscribers. So hopefully it'll happen, and I have a feeling one day I will get that collaboration, because eventually they'll probably do an event somewhere, and hopefully they have the car, and I'll go to the event, and we'll collab it up right there, because they're some real cool dudes. I like them a lot. Chris Jackson said, let's build a real estate investment software. I have some real estate investment software, actually. Rich can tell you about that. Rich liked how I did that. I created some software to manage my properties, and I did it in a weekend, and it was pretty extensive. And I think Rich always liked that story because I wrote the code. I didn't write the code in my head, but I figured out how I wanted the software to work over time in my head. So I was thinking about how I was going to do it for a few weeks. Then by the time I actually sat down at my computer, I was able to write the code as fast as I could type, because I already knew what I wanted the software to do. And I have enough experience writing software where, for me, it was just like talking. Like, I can write software like I talk. It's just as fast as I can type. And I had a structure in my head. So it was just for a weekend, I could type thousands of lines of code when I already know what the code is supposed to do. And I could do that. And so, yeah, I got a little bit of real estate investment software. But like, that's one of my gifts. Like, if I had to say it's like a blessing, I know how to write code. Like, my brother is a masterful artist, and he's like blessed with this ability. And I don't really, maybe I could do it, but I wouldn't be able to do it as fast as him, or probably as good as him. But for me, my gift is I can write computer code. I can write software, and I'm good with computers. I'm patient, and I can solve problems, and I'm just good at it. I'm decent with math as well, so that helps me. But I don't, everybody's not like that, so I don't talk about that business as much because it's it's technical. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's technical. You're dealing like almost with math and stuff. All right, other questions. Um, uh, Roderick Hayes says Shape World banks are not into loaning money for flips. There's banks out there that will happily loan you money for flips, but it's not their main thing. But there's banks out there that don't have any problem doing that. I deal with a couple of them. Shout out to my brother. I am Mr. Moss. That's my brother D Moss, my big brother. Love him to death. Shape World. Let's see. Hey there. I'm looking for questions. Y'all got any questions? Hit me up, or else I'm gonna go eat my ice cream sandwich and play some video games on Saturday night. Um, Gabe said, "Will, do you recommend young cats go to college? If you don't know what you're gonna do, college is a good option for you to try to figure out." And like for me, when I went to college, and shout out to Flooring Professional. Yes, God is great. Yeah, that's right. And for those of you guys that are not religious and that kind of thing, God is simply whatever created us, and we here talking, walking, and being real. Whatever created us, that's God to me. And so that's like saying you don't have a dad, and some of you do got a dad. But anyway, yes. So back to this question. Do I recommend people go to college? For me, like I had a specific reason for going to college. I wanted to go to college to get a good job, to make good money, to be able to support myself and not have to depend on my parents. That was my number one specific reason for going to college. And I wanted to be able to make good money because I like stuff. Like I like cars and motorcycles and stuff. You got to make good money to buy cars and stuff. So when I went to college, I was like, what majors get paid the most? And it was like in engineering and technology and stuff. And I was like, I like computers, man. I kind of got a knack for computers because I had been being a little hacker, in high school on computers. So I picked computer science, and I had my goal. My goal was let me be the number one student in computer science, so that I can get the number one job offer coming when I graduate. So having a specific goal like that, college can be good. But you don't want to go to college if you're just a floater and you're just going to be wasting money and wasting time and not getting towards a goal that you have. But sometimes it's good for you to help you figure out something. Like you get that first year of college, you can get exposure to other people and what they're doing and what their goals and aspirations are, and set them up for yourself, or set yourself up with some goals and aspirations and execute that through education and college. So in general, yeah, I support college, but there's people out there that are brilliant. There's people out there that are super smart that don't necessarily need any to set foot on a campus to be a millionaire because of how bright they are and how fast they pick things up. And so, no, you don't have to go. But do I recommend it? I think it's a good option. My thing is you should either go to the workforce and learn some kind of trade where you can get paid well, like learn how to be a plumber or learn how to be an electrician or learn how to be a specialist in something and go into the workforce, or go to college and figure out what'll work for you, or go to the military, or if you're really really smart, start your own business. I don't know too many people that started a business out of high school and became very well off, but it could happen. The only limits that you have is what limit you put on yourself. Put it that way. All right, next question. Um, uh, let's see what other questions we got. Do you think, okay, Ramos family said, do you think your very first property should be an investment and potentially rent it out and let it be build equity? Secondly, I'm considering investing in Orlando. I like Florida. I like Orlando as an investment area. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I just like it because of the activity down there, and you got the big draws down there. Do I think my very first property should be an investment and potentially rent it out? If you can get away with it, your very first property could very well be an investment property. But it could also be like in my case, I bought a property to live in it and it became an investment property. 2 or 3 of them came out like that. So you can do it both ways, man. It's just all about your discipline and your plan and how well you can do numbers. And you're trying to figure stuff out. Like if you're not sure, you got money to invest or time to invest, you might check out my online course because like it's some you need to know that stuff so so you can start making moves. All right, next question. What's the name of the software and how can I get my hands on it? Chris Jackson, the software that I wrote, I don't really have a name for it. It's part of a platform, a software platform I created called the Connect platform. And the website for that is connectplatform.com. But it's mostly social networks on there. But if you create a social networking instance of my software, that instance will have my real estate software in it, but it's just hidden. Like I had to turn it on for you manually because I'm using it for myself. But I made it that up so that other people could eventually use it. But I never productized it. I never turned it into a product that I was going to sell. And what it's for is for somebody that has, when you first start buying investment properties, you put them in a spreadsheet one by one, and you keep all your numbers for flip or for a rental. Keep all your numbers in a spreadsheet. But after you get a certain number of properties, some of the manual tasks you have to do related to the properties will be better managed by having software to automate stuff and software to easily calculate and show you stuff the way you need to see it. And so that's why I created the software after I got about 8 properties or 9 properties. I was like, okay, it's getting too hard for me to manage these properties in a spreadsheet. Let me build some software that will automate what I'm doing. And so if you got 5+ properties, you might want to look into my software. If you only have 1 or 2 or 3, you probably don't need my software. But we can talk about it, man. Just shoot me an email. get@willmotivation. All right, y'all, I'm winding down, man. I'm gonna go get me an ice cream sandwich here in a minute. So let me see if y'all got any more questions. Flooring professional say he started a flooring company 24 years ago, straight out of high school. That's how you do it. He went into a trade, and flooring companies make good money, period. Let's see, Millions in Motion. Any reason why you don't invest in multifamily commercial properties? Would love to hear your opinion. I like commercial, but the risk for commercial with me is commercial in my market doesn't move as fast as residential. So if I ever get in a tight squeeze where I need my money quick, I like residential because every property that me and Rich put on the market, which is at least 10 to 15, all of them sold within a month. All of them sold within 1 month in various economies and markets and stuff. But if it's a commercial property, I got commercial real estate sitting all around me that sits there for years, sometimes years or lots of months. That for me is one thing I don't like about commercial. Now, if you're talking about multifamily commercial, I like multifamily commercial, but there's not a lot of multifamily structures in my market. That's why you don't see me buying like 4 units and 5 units and 10 units. If I was gonna buy a big unit, it would have to be an apartment complex here. I have to buy a huge or a fraction of an apartment complex because you can't buy fractions of apartment complexes. Believe it or not, like when somebody's building a brand new project, they're gonna have hundreds of apartments. Usually they'll sell to investors 5 of them to 10 of them or more at a time. So you could buy a bunch of them. But my thing about that, when I had the opportunity to invest in those kind of commercial apartment projects, the return on investment was somewhere around 10% or 9% or something like that. And I was making way more return on investment on my rental property, single family homes, than 9 or 10%. I was making a lot more than that. So I was kind of like, no, that wasn't good for me. That's why I didn't do it. I make more money with single family homes. All right. That's my answer to your question. All right. So TACRS said, I work for a very large corporation. I find the salary to be mediocre. What do I think a good salary is for an IT engineer? I want to get my credit repaired and I'm struggling. Man, IT engineer in the right, it all depends on cost of living and the market that you're in, the location. IT engineers they get paid a lot all over the country, man. A good salary to me for IT engineers, 80,000, 75,000, 80,000 is good. But there's people making a lot more than that, a little bit less than that, whatever. But if you're making like 40,000, you might be on the low end, bro. Even 50,000 might be on the low end. It just depends on where you live, because different markets. If you live in New York, they got to pay you way more. If you live in California, they got to pay you way more. If you live in the Midwest, Kansas, you might be an IT engineer in Kansas making 45,000, 50,000, but you might could live okay on that. D. Robbie said, "Can we buy your real estate software? If enough people want to use it, just email me and let me talk to me like about how serious you are about using my software, because I have to do some work to productize it to make it ready for other people. But I could do that, but like if I'm only gonna make a few $100s, I wouldn't do it, because my time, like for me, my time is super, super, like I got so many things. Like I got so many things I could be doing that I should be doing, that I have to be real careful on what I pick to do, because I got a long list of things I'm supposed to be doing from years ago. So, it would just have to make sense for me to do it. That's why I haven't done it, because I don't think I could put you on the software that's just as good as my software. For the average person, I could put you onto some software that's good that you could use, that's cheap too. So you just got to email me, get@willmotivation.com. How can a single investor compete with big company investors? Make a better product. So this is Eddie Air 23. Like I had that problem here in my market. I had a big investor start competing with me to buy houses in the zip code where I was dominant buyer. And I couldn't compete with them on a money basis, but I could compete with them on a product basis, like having a better product than theirs. But that I couldn't buy more houses than they could. I just couldn't do it unless I went and got a whole bunch of money from investors, and I didn't have time to be doing all that. But I can make a better product to compete from a rental perspective, and my product will rent faster and at a higher rate than theirs, because my house would simply be better with better finishings, and so that's the general answer to your question. The chat's getting moderated. AA Moore said, "I'm gonna do any more lives with Cappy." Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I love Cappy. Cappy is good. Cappy is a great person. I love her, and you'll probably see her again, God willing, on lives or whatever. So yeah, we'll see. But thing about putting Cappy out there is that she's a beautiful, attractive woman, and a lot of people are inappropriate with their comments related to her, and I don't like exposing her to that, because I'm a gentleman. Like I don't. If somebody says something disrespectful to a lady that I'm around, she could be my girlfriend or not my girlfriend. I think I don't like it. So I wouldn't want to intentionally expose anybody to some of the stuff that's out here on the internet. So I'm a little more conservative about how, her being on some of the videos and me talking about our personal relationship and all that kind of stuff. That's none of nobody's business. She's just, you can just know we good. She's a good person. I am too. So that's all. All right. Let's see. And yeah, I'm getting ready to check out, y'all, because I want to relax a little bit. I'm gonna eat an ice cream sandwich. Maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow. If I get some of my goals accomplished. But I wanted to do this video because I just bought a Lamborghini, and I didn't want to do a Lamborghini. I bought a Lamborghini video without trying to share something with you guys that that is the real reason why I show the Lamborghini, is not to show you guys what I have. I'm showing you something that you can have if you just have the knowledge and the know-how. That's the whole reason of me sharing me having some cars and stuff. Because for me to share it just to say I got it, that's the stupidest thing in the world, and I'm very uncomfortable with that. So Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to Still Hogging TV. What's up? Shout out to the 186 people on this live stream. I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I do this YouTube stuff. I do this YouTube stuff for you guys. And you know, whenever somebody hits me back and says, "Hey, your real estate course is great," or "Hey, this video is great and I learned something," or "I was motivated by this video," that's why I do these videos. And I appreciate you guys. All right. And so I get a kick out of that. All right. So Alexis, thank you for tuning in from Venezuela. Espero que todo está bien y que el país está mejorando. Dios te bendiga y gracias por mirando mis videos. A todos los latinos que están mirando mis videos, gracias a ustedes también. So, yeah, I'll keep the live stream up for a little while. If you guys missed the beginning where I talked about how I got the car and how I got this latest flip, but I'm going to take the live stream down after a couple of days because usually I say something in here that I don't want totally out there to the people that don't know me. You know, like about my finances and stuff like that. You know, I don't want too many people getting a hold of that and it just being out there forever. All right, so I'm about to check out, and thanks all of y'all. I'm about to eat. My recommendation for the ice cream sandwich is called a Choco Taco. All right, so y'all go eat y'all Choco Taco too. Go to Kroger's and pick one up. Hey, but I appreciate you guys. Look forward to the videos coming about this new real estate project. I'm sure I'm going to have Rich, my realtor, in the videos as we get ready to list the property, as we have the conversation about how him and I usually talk about the pricing for the homes and how our strategy is and how we work together on that. I'm looking forward to getting this house on the market and just showing you guys, because it's a risk. Like I can make zero. I could take a loss, but I haven't taken a loss yet, and I don't plan on taking a loss. And I'm calculating. I make a calculated risk, and I believe we're going to come out ahead. So, you know, and I'll consider myself blessed if we do. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And if you didn't see the beginning of this video, it's going to process and then it'll upload. You guys can check it out. And see y'all guys in the next video. Peace.